Hi, today I want to share with you what studying Romans has done in my heart and mind. As I've walked through Paul's letters, I've been confronted with the reality that the gospel is not a theory, not a set of nice ideas, but a life-transforming power. Romans 1:16 reminds us, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes." It challenges our culture, confronts our pride, and calls us to radical surrender. This isn't just about going to church or reading a Bible. It's about letting God completely shape who we are, from our thoughts to our actions, and from our private lives to our public witness. Studying Paul's life first reminded me how relentless he was in his devotion to Christ. Even in suffering, he never compromised the gospel. What struck me most is that Paul understood his world, the culture, the brokenness, the power struggles, and he met people where they were, speaking truth in love. He didn't shy away from calling out sin, but he did with a heart of transformation. I want my future teaching and preaching to carry that same clarity and boldness, not softening the message, not making it convenient, but calling hearts to obedience. To see Jesus as unavoidable in life, not just a nice idea. As I studied the background of Romans, I realized how intentional God was in placing Paul's message in that specific time and culture. The pride, the power, the brokenness of the Roman world makes Paul's words about grace and faith even more powerful today. Our modern empires may look different. Our technology, our knowledge, our comforts, but human hearts haven't changed. We still chase idols, compromise, and confuse convenience with grace. Paul's words pierce through the noise, reminding us that faith, not status, defines us before God. And that hit me personally. How often have I tried to earn favor or rely on my own goodness rather than trusting Him fully? Romans also remind me that salvation is faith, not works, not ritual, not effort. Romans 4:3 tells us, "For what does the scripture say? Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him for righteousness." That truth breaks down pride. It challenges me to stop relying on my good works and instead point people to the God who justifies the ungodly through faith. Real faith produces obedience. It transforms lives. It's visible. And it calls the preacher or teacher to live what we preach, because you cannot pour out what you haven't received yourself. I've been convicted that I must live this out daily, not just in front of others, but in private, in small moments when no one is watching. That's where faith becomes real, authentic, and transformative. Finally, the study of Jesus as our Sabbath has reshaped my view of obedience. Matthew 11:28 through 29 says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Rest in Christ is not passive. It's a surrender that frees us from striving, from performance, from fear. God's sovereignty reminds me that He is God and I am not. I cannot manipulate outcomes or earn His favor. And yet, in that surrender, there is a peace, joy, and power beyond anything I can muster on my own. This should humble us, stir awe, and ignite urgency. Our preaching, teaching, and living must point people to surrender, total rest, and radical faith in Jesus. It's a call to stop striving and start trusting with everything. Romans has challenged me to live differently, preach differently, and teach differently. It has reminded me that the gospel is still the power of God for salvation. It demands faith, obedience, humility, and surrender. I pray that as I step forward, I will not only teach about Christ, but that others will see him in me through my words, through my actions, through a life fully devoted to him. Romans 12:1 encourages us, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. The message of Romans is simple, yet it is life-altering. Trust Christ, surrender fully, and let his grace transform you from the inside out. May our lives be unmistakably marked by his presence. God bless.